Hello everyone, GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes. And tonight we are getting a brand new Feh Channel, the second Feh Channel of the month, this time promising the reveal of the Choose Your Legends 5 characters. So I have the video pulled up right now. Before we hit play and watch it together for the first time, I will just remind everybody out there that if you do enjoy the content that we put out, including Fire Emblem Heroes videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like or putting a comment down below, just advising us of the types of content that you'd like to see. Alright, let's get into it. The video is live, the Feh Channel is live. It's only 12 minutes long, so I don't know if there's going to be a lot more beyond the actual Choose Your Legends reveals, but I guess we'll see. Flap flap. Feh Channel. Alright, let's see it.
Here they are, the heroes who fought their way to the top to claim the number 1 and 2 spots in both the men's and women's divisions of the Choose Your
There they are,
Legends 5
our winners.
event. You know them already, but I'll introduce them one by one.
There are those who have faith in me. When I think of that, I feel strength well up inside.
Oh wow,
Presenting
loving the ponytail. She looks great.
it's
She's very much dressed in Ephraim-esque attire. Wada Sachiko doing a great job.
something her twin brother
Yep, brandishing a lance like her brother.
has such a noble presence in that attire with her spear in hand.
Wow, yeah, the art's gorgeous.
55% or higher. Eirika's
Okay.
weapon, Binding Reagan Leaf,
Mm-hmm.
grants bonuses to all 4 of her
Okay.
stats and reduces the damage she takes.
Effective against armored and cavalry, which is always nice. Killer slaying effect.
She can take reduced damage
So
from
she is a
combat.
cavalry
She
unit.
initiates combat.
Gotcha.
No trouble taking out her foes with follow-up
Okay.
attacks.
Alright.
Plus,
Ooh, Surge Sparrow?
heal when she deals
Uh,
special damage. She can dish out the
Deals damage to foe using a special, restores...
time.
Interesting. Wait, so is that... I mean,
Also, if her Moonlight
Wait.
Bangle skill triggers the Kanto 2 effect, she'll be able to move
so she has her own unique skill even though she's a runner-up?
She managed to get to safety. Oh,
That's really interesting.
I can already tell she'll be useful when approaching the battle with hit and run tactics.
So she has Moonlight Bangle. She also has... I mean, the A slot, I don't know if it's inheritable. I guess it would be? Not entirely sure. Hey, there he is. Looking very smart in that red attire.
It's Marth from the Fire Emblem.
I mean, yeah, it looks like Marth. It's about time, I guess, for him to finally have his Choose Your Legends version in the game, and so it's very exciting.
We're used to seeing him in blue, but I think he looks very regal in red as well.
Yeah, I think he's rocking the red well. I do.
Emblem's special skill grants
Shining
bonuses to
Emblem.
himself and allies when he starts a turn with allies around him.
Okay.
This effect
Interesting. So it has like a pervasive buff when it's like ready.
When his special does trigger, it boosts damage by 35%.
Okay, so it's speed based. Those are always very strong.
Cooldown is low, making it easy to activate.
Huh.
It seems like he'll be able to keep up the pressure on his opponents.
And that certainly seems potent. So he is going to be infantry.
Oh, if we don't do something, he might get hit by a foe's ranged attack. But we've got nothing to worry about. Reliable old
Distant
Marth is equipped with
pressure.
Distant pressure skill.
Uh,
That means he can counterattack regardless of his foe's range. So
I
let's go ahead and
see.
take the hit.
Huh. That's
He did it!
very good. That is a very good A slot.
Our turn.
Okay. Genesis Falchion.
Genesis Falchion grants all
Uh,
sorts of different effects depending on
That is a
the
paragraph and a
bonuses
half.
his allies have.
Okay.
The more bonuses his allies have, the more effects it grants.
Okay. Alright, so it's one of these. It's...
But I'm sure it's not
Gotcha.
enough for you summoners to handle. Right now he's making the
Huh.
most of his weapon skills.
So at most, he would have an additional 5 attack during combat
He's neutralizing effects
and restore HP.
while also neutralizing effects
Oh no, but it...
from
Oh,
performing follow
it's stacked. So he gets additional bonuses. Okay.
heal himself when dealing damage, and he can attack enemies before they attack him when they initiate combat.
I see. So he gets a vantage, too.
You got this, Marth! He gets more powerful based on his allies' bonuses.
I got it. Okay.
Strong allies nearby.
So, like, yeah, so granting boost to all of his allies just makes him that much stronger.
I understand it, but I suppose they chose me for a reason.
Oh, beautiful.
It's time to introduce
Serene
the
Adherent.
winner of the women's division. It's Marianne.
Art is gorgeous.
Three Houses game. In contrast to her usual attire from the monastery,
Right.
she's joining the fray clad in a daring dancer's outfit.
Yeah, she's rocking it.
Marianne has a skill
It's
called
fantastic.
Attack Speed Unity.
Okay, attack
And
speed
when she has
unity.
allies around her, some of her stats
Oh, that attack animation is sick.
If she initiates
Phantasm
combat,
Tome.
foe's HP is 50%
Okay.
or higher.
So, grant speed plus 3.
Will reduce the damage she
Foe's
takes
HP.
from her foe's first attack by 70%.
Okay, so adds to the sturdiness. That makes a lot of sense for her.
Such reduced damage from counterattacks. Yeah.
So she's also going to be infantry? It seems. Yeah. So they're focusing on the survivability with Marianne, which, again,
Marianne was able to defeat that
does fit in tandem. So she's going to be... Is that colorless tome?
And we can't forget about her special.
Oh, wow, she's a dancer?
If Marianne initiates combat, this
Wait,
allows
oh, no,
an
never
ally
mind.
in 2 spaces
Ah.
to take another action.
I see, so it's built into her special.
Or dance. Incredible.
Okay,
Be able to move 1 space. But I'm sure this will open up all sorts of
that's
new
interesting.
challenges.
That warrants taking a closer look at for sure. Okay.
Summoner, nothing to report.
And here, oh, the dog too. Oh man,
Here's the winner.
nothing to report.
It's the Gatekeeper of
Oh man, I love that you see the monastery behind him too. It's very appropriate.
He's sworn to protect the gates of the monastery.
Look, he's got his smile on his face. I mean, you can't.
Known for being cheerful and lively when he's on duty.
He's got the cats around him.
In addition to any army.
Even with the rubble all around him, he's still standing firm.
Charging horn.
Charging
He just needs to
horn.
give it a 2
Wow, he's a green tome user?
effect.
Huh.
It's all sorts of benefits based on how many allies are within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on him.
I see.
If there's at least 1 ally nearby, this will reduce his foe's attack and resistance by the number of allies times 2 during combat.
Oh my god, that attack animation.
If there are 3 or more allies, foes can't perform follow-up attacks.
Okay, alright.
Not only that, but if a structure that foes can destroy is present within 2 spaces of him, he's granted the best effects from his weapon regardless of how many allies are nearby.
Really? That's so interesting.
Huh? It looks like an ally will be in trouble if we don't act. Well, would you look at that? His detailed report
Okay.
does a really good job of stopping the enemy's advance. It even prevents them from warping.
I see. So he's a literal gatekeeper. I mean, that makes a ton of sense.
On top
No,
of
that's
that,
perfect.
he has
Close reversal.
so he's totally prepared for counterattacks.
Okay, alright.
Drive defense, he's built like an iron wall.
Joint drive defense. I'm still a little confused as to which of these skills are inheritable and which ones aren't.
You can take a closer look at these heroes'
But-
skills in a video
Yeah.
launching after this Feh Channel.
That's pretty glorious. So the trailer's going to drop immediately, which of course makes sense. So we can take a closer look at that too.
If we didn't have a free summon event prepared,
Yep. Choose a 5-star. So we get this every year, of course. So we will be able to select one of the heroes for free. Guaranteed.
the excitement doesn't end.
So that's good.
You'll be able to choose a focus hero to summon for free.
Right. So there's also a sparking, of course, which we also knew about.
And you can do it 4 times.
Oh! Oh yeah, wait. They did that last time too, didn't they?
If you summon
Yeah, so again, no huge surprises here. You can guarantee yourselves essentially all of them with a set number of orbs just by going to the pity or going to the spark every time.
free summon event that features heroes who were selected in the Choose Your Legends Round 3 event will be ending on August 31st. Be sure to summon
Okay.
one of those heroes if you haven't already.
Oh, okay.
Wow, these Choose Your Legends heroes sure are amazing. Oh, what am I saying? Of course they are. They have new skills. Their outfits are perfectly suited for this special appearance, and I'm starstruck just thinking about them. But I can't lose my composure now. There's more news to share.
Yep, what's more news? What you got?
Beginning around August 17th.
Oh, okay. Alright, so we're getting a cap increase to Dragonflowers. I guess it's about time for that.
Heroes who could be improved a total of 15 times up until now.
Phew, alright. So all of the Gen 1 infantry, for example.
Heroes limited to 10 times.
I see. Wow, I need a lot more Dragonflowers.
Could only be improved up to 5 times.
So that it's just an all across the board 5 Dragonflower stat increase for everybody.
Each time you improve after that, the number will increase by 40, as you can see.
Right.
To go along with the increased limits on Dragonflowers, there will be a login bonus, Heroic Boon.
Yeah, that'll come in handy, because we definitely need all the Dragonflowers we can get at this point.
During the active period, to get 120 of each type of Dragonflower. Faye?
Okay,
So, how'd I do?
so is that it?
This is the 5th time special Choose Your Legends heroes are making an appearance, so I hope I did them justice. Either way, I'm sure these heroes are just happy to have received so much support from all
Yep,
you
that's the way to look at it. They're all winners.
couldn't have done it without you. I'm not technically a hero, but I wonder if I could get a special outfit too.
I think we've all wanted it today for a while now.
That's it for today, Summoners. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Okay. Alright, so if that's going to wrap things up, I think we can actually just transition over to the trailer if it's currently live. Let me take a quick look. Okay, I don't see it currently live, so I think we can just evaluate really what's in the trailer. We may as well, right? So, I mean, one of the most notable things here is that the runner-ups for the Choose Your Legends, the second placers, have their own unique skills, which again is something that wasn't, I mean, the precedent was always that the first placers got a unique skill and a unique weapon. The second placers got a unique weapon. Now, what's especially interesting about that, I feel, is, and this is a little selfish, but I'm wondering how that will work retroactively with previous generations of Choose Your Legends heroes. Like, I'm wondering if they're going to give the second placers in an update some unique skills to themselves. I'm thinking, of course, for my own purposes, Brave Camilla, but just generally speaking, I mean, any of the second placers across the board, if they're going to be getting their own unique skills. I think that would be pretty awesome, because honestly, if you're going to get top 2 in either of the male or the female rankings, I think you deserve something like that. So obviously, Eirika looks great here, rocking that ponytail and that lance. Her weapon has dual effectiveness, which is always very strong, a killer slaying effect, which is very potent as well, and she's on a horse, she's cavalry, looks like she's got some damage reduction built in, as well as preventing units follow-up attacks, which is always strong. That does mean that she's probably going to have some pretty high speed, I would expect, out of this, and then she's also just going to get in-combat buffs in accordance with her HP threshold. So Surge Sparrow might be uniquely hers. What's kind of confusing about Surge Sparrow to me is that, does that mean these are tier 5 skills? It has the same border as a tier 4 skill. It would be a natural progression from Swift Sparrow, right? It has an added effect onto it. It doesn't surpass it in terms of the stats, it just has an additional effect, which in my mind means that they're going to have different Sparrows. So this is Surge Sparrow, there's going to be another kind of Sparrow that just has different unique effects for the A slot, which I think would be really cool. So I'm guessing this is inheritable. I don't know what the prerequisite skills are going to be. I would suspect all of the Swift Sparrow line, in addition to potentially something else, but the fact is that it adds an HP restoration effect in addition to the actual stat boost for player phasing. So Moonlight Bangle has Kanto built in as the B slot skill. That is fantastic. One of the most unique and most powerful and potent abilities for flyers and cavalry is the ability to have Kanto. And so It's great that she doesn't have to sacrifice a B slot to get Kanto. It's built into her weapon, and so she has Kanto 2, which is excellent. It's not Kanto Remainder or anything like that. It is strictly Kanto 2. So regardless of how much she moves beforehand, she will always get 2 movement after doing an attack or an action. So as the name would suggest, it adds kind of a Moonbow / Luna component to the weapon when she procs her special, so that's just more damage. And then it also prevents guard effect on her, which means that, you know, it allows her to make more reliably proc her special, so that Moonlight Bangle's effect of the, you know, the pseudo Moonbow comes into effect. So Shining Emblem is a natural progression from Fire Emblem. Essentially, if the special is ready, it's kind of interesting that they've started adding these when the special is ready, like it has the charge. Essentially, it has an added effect, and in this case, the unit is going to get Marth is going to get +6 to all of his stats, an activated effect, as long as he's within 2 spaces of an ally, which is very, very easy. And he'll grant all allies within 2 spaces +6 to attack. And that, of course, also works to enhance his weapon, as we saw before, that giant paragraph that is his weapon, because his weapon relies on buffs on his allies, right? And the special itself, inherently 2-turn cooldown and 35% of unit speed, that in and of itself is just, you know, pretty darn powerful. But again, you have this additional kind of passive effect to the special, which is really great. And then after the special, after he triggers the special, he gets +6 or grants +6 to himself and all allies for 1 turn, irrespective of their spacing, right? So map-wide buff to everybody for 1 turn. So Distant Pressure, we're seeing an evolution of the Distant Counter type skills, more different variations of Distant Counter skills. And note that this skill has Distant Counter built in without any condition. So I think the two components to this are completely separate and distinct. So irrespective of his HP threshold, he will be able to counterattack from ranged units, right? However, if he has greater than or equal to 25% HP, he also gets speed +5, which obviously is going to work well with his special, and then he'll take 5 damage after combat. So again, that's all kind of, I think, mutually exclusive from the first component of the skill. So at a base level, Genesis Falchion will grant Killer Slaying effect and also Dragon effectiveness, right? And then also, as long as he is either player phasing or within 2 spaces of an ally, he gets +5 to all of his stats. That's just built in no matter what. And I think that's pretty, you know, that's solid. But then he gets additional bonuses based upon the number of allies around him and the total bonuses on those allies around him. Now, it's capped at the 3, which means it only takes into account the 3 highest totals of allies around him. But even so, essentially it all stacks onto itself. And if he gets 60, greater than or equal to 60 stat bonuses, he gets all of the following effects. So neutralizes effects that guarantee foes follow-up and prevent units follow-up attacks during combat. So no follow-up built in. Grants an additional +5 attack during combat, and also if unit deals damage to foe during combat, restores 5 HP to unit. So some health siphoning there. And if foe initiates combat, foe can counterattack before foe's first attack. So built-in Vantage. So really, Marth will excel in an environment and a team composition where you're able to get and grant activated buffs on as many allies around him as possible. I mean, just thinking about this for a second in the context of Shining Emblem, right? When he procs his special, he grants +6 to all stats for all of his allies. So that's +6 to 4 different stats. That's 24, right? For a single ally that's around him. So if he has 3 allies around him, that means that he's going to have 24 times 3. Which is 72? So yeah. So I mean, so as long as he procs the Shining Emblem, that alone will give him the over 60 bonuses to activate all of the different buffs that are available on Genesis Falchion. So it's interesting. I like that synergy built into it. Here is Marianne with her fantastic art and looking exceptional in her dancer garb. If we take a look at her skills, attack speed unity, that's a very, very powerful A-slot skill. It's not necessarily something we haven't seen before, so I'm not going to go into it at length, but that is going to basically allow her to neutralize penalties on her and use them to her advantage to the attack add speed stat. Now, she has Phantasm Tome, and she is a colorless tome user, which is relatively rare within the context and the confines of Fire Emblem Heroes, so that in and of itself gives her a lot of value here. So 14 Might, grants speed +3, at start of combat if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 50%, inflicts speed res -6, and neutralizes foe's bonuses to speed and res during combat. Also, if unit initiates combat, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 70%. It's not an out-of-this-world weapon that has a ton of different effects on it, like Marth's, and that's fine because it does seem like in some capacity at least, Marianne is going to be a support character, or she is going to be able to support the team. So her special is Requiem Dance, and I do want to take a closer look at this. If unit initiates combat, after combat grants another action to ally with the highest HP within 2 spaces, excluding unit that has already acted. So they have to, it's proximity based, the ally has to be within 2 spaces. So it's a dance without being a dance, and it also can serve to refresh singers and dancers. That's very potent. I mean, that's a very powerful ability in general, like being able to do that, and also being able to do that through your special rather than through the assist. That means that she can have a normal assist, which has its own utility on a team, which is also very good. So it's limited in the fact that, or it's limiting in the fact that you need to have your special, right? But it also opens up doors because you can have a positioning assist, you can have a rally assist, and also it just the freedom that it grants in the context of refreshing singers and dancers. Now that ally can only move 1 additional movement space. However, what I will note is that that movement space is perfect for that unit to be able to use a repositioning assist on Marianne or use a dance on Marianne. Notice that Marianne is not a dancer, or at least it's not abundantly clear. I wasn't sure based on her kit if she is technically a dancer. Yeah, she doesn't have an assist here. I mean, that tells me that she may not have dance as an assist, in which case you can just slap reposition on her, or drawback, or some other positioning assist, and be able to reap the benefits of that in addition to a special that dances instead of an actual assist. And of course, here is the Gatekeeper. He is a green tome user, certainly not what I was expecting. I don't know if he's armored or if he's infantry, but he's got Charging Horn, so grants defense +3. I love his actual attacking animation. I love his attacking art. I think it's really fantastic. I don't know, it captures this old world appeal, I think. Grants attack speed +5 to allies within 3 rows and 3 columns, centered on unit during combat, so that's great. That provides a buff to his allies, which is something that I feel like you would expect out of a character like Gatekeeper. Grants effect to unit during combat based on the number of allies within the 3 rows. If one ally inflicts attack res -X on foe during combat, and if greater than or equal to 3 allies, foe cannot make a follow-up attack. So that makes a lot of sense, right? The more allies he has around him within that rectangle, they get buffed and he gets buffed. So it's just a good synergistic relationship between him and his allies. And then the other really interesting element of this weapon is if the unit is within 2 spaces of a structure that a foe can destroy. So that is either some rubble or an actual building like in Aether Raids, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be a building in Aether Raids. It can just be like a rock or something on a map. If the unit is within 2 spaces of a structure, the number of allies in the area is treated as 3. So he gets his maximum bonuses as long as he's protecting a structure, which makes perfect sense as the Gatekeeper, right? I think that's a nice touch. For his B-slot skill, he's got Detailed Report, which is essentially a glorified Obstruct. I mean, it limits the enemy's ability to pass through him, which makes a lot of sense as the Gatekeeper, right? Always on theme, does expand into warping, which makes a lot of sense. I do feel like Obstruct really needs to do that in general, so any expansion of the Obstruct skill series really needs to incorporate that. So that is certainly pretty nice. However, just to note, it does not affect rival domains, so it does not affect the ability to move from fortress to fortress within rival domains. I guess that would really limit and kind of break the game mode, so I guess that's why they decided to do it that way. And for his A-slot, he has Close Reversal, which I'm guessing is a unique skill for him. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, it's basically distant counter with a defense +5, as long as the enemy is attacking into him. So I'm guessing that's unique to him. And I did see that the trailer is live, so I'm just going to go ahead and play it here, and so we can watch it together. If there's anything else unique about this, the rest of their stats and skills, we can talk about it here all at the same time. But yeah, I mean, Prince of Light, Marth, again, he's going to be a team player, and the more that you build a team around him, the more powerful he's going to be, and the more powerful and more of an asset he's going to be for the rest of his team composition. So we talked about Genesis Falchion, Shining Emblem, and Distant Pressure. He's going to have Spurn 3. That's perfect for his stacked on speed abilities, like stacking on more and more speed will allow him to take advantage of the damage reduction of Spurn 3, so that's pretty perfect for him. And then Even Tempest 3 for the C slot, that's going to give him an extra movement space on even turns. That's fine. I think the C slot is a flex spot, and for him in particular, he may want to employ the ability to have a buffing C slot for his allies to be able to more regularly meet the condition for all of the effects of Genesis Falchion. Yeah, I mean, he's got good stuff, even outside of the unique skills that we talked about here. And there's the Shining Emblem, and that emblem is shining indeed in the back there. And so here is Pledged Restorer. We've got Eirika. Again, I think she looks fantastic in the art. So she's going to be a cavalry unit. And so as a Lance Cavalry, she is going to have stacked on stats. She's going to have damage reduction. She's going to have healing built in. She's going to have Kanto as well. I mean, these are all things that have Cavalry thrive, right? So these are all things that are fantastic. And she's going to have dual effectiveness against armor and cavalry foes, which is excellent. And just, again, stacked on damage from not only the Luna, she's going to be able to proc her special unhindered because of Moonlight Bangle as well. Attack Speed Menace is an excellent C-slot skill. Kind of interesting just because the threatened skills are more defensive. Menace has the additional range, so she can't actually use it offensively. So I think that's the role that she's going to be using it here, since she's basically strictly player phase, or mostly player phase. There she goes. And she enjoys that damage reduction. And attacks right back into them. Excellent. And that Kanto. That Kanto is awesome. The value of that cannot be understated. So here is Marianne. Just gorgeous shading on this art. It's really fantastic. So, Infantry Colorless Tome, again, that in and of itself has a lot of value. So we talked about the first three skills, of course. Null Follow-Up 3 is an excellent choice for her. That is going to allow her, with her increased speed and the speed debuff on the enemy, to just follow up more reliably and not be able to have her follow-up canceled, which is excellent. Times Pulse 3 at start of the turn, a special cooldown count is at its maximum value, grants special cooldown count -1. So that's kind of nice. That places a Requiem Dance at a 2-turn cooldown, which is excellent. So there she goes. This attacking animation is so sick. That looks so cool. And of course she enjoys that damage reduction. And then she's going to... yeah, there we go. And then the special goes off. So it's not actually a built-in, like... yeah, okay, alright. I mean, I guess that makes sense. So here's Gatekeeper. He's infantry as well. Okay, so he's infantry, green tome. So that's another interesting element of this batch. They're breaking ground here. There's not even distribution of movement types. There's a lot of infantry and one cavalry. In the past, of course, we've gotten, one flyer, one cavalry, one infantry, one armored every single time. This is the first time they're breaking that mold, which I'm totally okay with. I mean, I think that's fine. I don't think they really have to pin themselves down to those specific movement types, especially if they have to shoehorn it in. So I think that's perfectly fine. So honestly, we already talked about the Gatekeeper skills here. Harsh Command Plus that's a fine assist. It's actually a relatively difficult assist to come across, at least for inheritance purposes. So that's useful, especially from that perspective. But you could swap in any positioning assist or anything else in there, and it would work just fine. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna be a wall for sure. And he's going to just support everybody, and they're going to support him at the same time, which is exactly what you would want for the Gatekeeper. So Howling Descent is the new story chapter that we're getting. Naturally, I mean, let's see. Okay, no surprises here at all. And new heroes are here. So starting on the 17th, of course. The rest of the trailer is devoted to the whole sparking system and the fact that you can obviously spark up to 4 times on this banner. So you can guarantee yourselves all 4 of them, in addition to selecting one of them for free guaranteed. The art for all of them is gorgeous across the board. I think Marianne in particular and Eirika in particular look fantastic. Gatekeeper has this just like old worldly charm, I think, with his art that I really enjoy. Marth looks like Marth. I mean, it's Marth. I mean, I don't know what more he's got red on, but he still looks like Marth, and he looks great. They did a great job, obviously, with his art, but I mean, it's Marth. You know, in terms of overall value, Gatekeeper and Marianne are the most unique of the batch for sure. Marianne, in particular, is probably the most unique of the batch, and that just from her color and weapon type, colorless tome in general. Again, we don't have a ton of those, and then also having that very unique special. And I think you can give her a positioning assist in addition to that, which is pretty potent. If she's not actually a dancer, that means that she can be danced, which means that her special works perfectly with dancers alongside her, because that means that if she refreshes a dancer next to her, they can move just enough to dance her again so that she can attack again. So yeah, I mean, I think that she just has some unique utility that you don't really see anywhere else, and you can only get from Marianne, which is, you know, obviously a driving factor. So I do think I'm going to be going to the Spark on this banner. I certainly would love to get a copy of all of them. Marianne and Eirika are the top priorities. Gatekeeper's up there too. Marth, I would like to have, but he's like, of the batch, probably not the highest priority for me. But let me know in the comments below how you feel about the batch, how you feel about each of the characters, if they were everything you had hoped for, if you're disappointed, if you had wanted a different take on the characters, what you feel about the art. Let me know. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. Certainly hoping you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's protect those skies.